Hello there.
All right. Hey, Internet. Welcome back to SideQuestsLive. My name is Todd, and I am a humble podcasty guy, and I'm excited to bring you some more games. And I've been invited to jump into one of the, he was here. Check out the previous episode with DM or GM. I'm not sure which you prefer to go by. DM or GM? GM. Game Master. Dungeon Master just sounds kinky. So we're here with GM Brendan, and we're going to be continuing our previous story. I'll throw to you. Thanks for joining us. For those, if it's your first time here, you can find all our stuff at all the podcast places under SideQuest Live. You can also see some of our stuff up on YouTube and join us live on Twitch. All right, Brendan. It's on you.
Okay. I'll just give us a brief synopsis of what happened last episode, which was actually chapter 2, so we're on to chapter 3 now. The last episode had the adventurers trying to ply the skies for moonstones and stardust as part of a deal with a merchant named Yasmina Al-Kindi. The participants that session were Bo as La Habrea. We had Will playing as a wandering elf named Navida. And then, of course, we had Todd join us as the Tanuki stowaway Elroy. But today we have Devin is back. He's John Normalman. So I'm going to seamlessly weave him into the story as if he was there the whole time.
I was.
So the last session saw a bit of some thrills and spills and chills because as you were applying the sky for this valuable moonstone and stardust during this festival that takes place during the annual meteor shower over Aventale, you were attacked by a emerald wyvern and barely escaped with your lives. The airship was destroyed, you were falling through the sky, and a portal suddenly magically opened up and whisked you away from certain death and deposited you, a bit unceremoniously, onto the floor of what appears to be some kind of wizard's tower. And you look around and you see all the trappings of a wizard's study. There are books and scrolls and folios and manuscripts and bookcases jammed with stones and skulls and all kinds of things. And greeting you is a wedgeat, which some of you probably know what it is, but a wedgeat has almost the sort of face of an ancient hawk god, let's say. I don't want to say horse, but it looks a lot like horse. But this particular wedgeat is a wizard who you've never met before. And although he's very old, his eyes they're like gold dust pressed under glass. They're just these glittering gold eyes. And he's staring down at you with his hawk beak. And the first thing he says when you arrive is, "This can't be a prophecy. It's all out of order." And he goes and he starts shuffling through these pages, and he's barely paying attention to you beyond the fact that you arrived. And it allows you a moment to sort of like sit up, take stock, realize that you have all your body parts intact, and just be generally grateful for that.
Oh, thank God.
Oh. So, after a few minutes, he comes back, and he looks at you, and he looks back at these pages that he has, these big illuminated pages, and they have all kinds of runes and cuneiform on them, nothing that you'd be able to read. And he looks back at you, and he looks back at his pages, and he says, "This This is amazing. This is amazing. The prophecy, it's out of order. And you have no idea what he's talking about. And so
most prophecies are bullshit.
That's what I've heard.
They are when they involve you, it seems. So he stops and he excuses himself. Pardon me, I'm terribly sorry. You must have no idea what I'm talking about. Why don't I first welcome you? This is my tower. I'm Kemet. I am a summoner, which was how I was able to summon you here to this place at that particularly opportune time. Your presence here is fortuitous, but also just very confusing. I have been trying to...
I don't even know where we are.
I have been trying to understand a prophecy that has existed since the cataclysm. There is a rumor, call it, or a legend, that not all of the primordials were destroyed. There was one primordial known as Hava who hid. So when the gods came to make war upon the primordial chaos, one of the primordials hid amongst the shards of earth. And when the gods then ceased their intercession and left, that primordial remained. And the primordial has been sleeping and will be awakened when a series of events occur. And I have made it my life's quest to prevent those events from happening. I knew to come here to this strange, quaint little place called Aventale when I started seeing the omens occur. The river turned black as ink. That was my first clue. I knew I had to be here. And so I directed this tower of mine. You can go and take a look outside the window at some point if you want. I directed this tower of mine to come to this area. But then I heard news that something else had happened. The clock bell in the basilica rang 13 times. You'll recall during the prelude that one of the hobgoblins actually caused that to occur. And other things were happening as well. But one of the pages of the prophecy says, and I took this to be the ending, that the heroes who can defeat Kava will fall and Kava will smile from the sky. That is the literal translation. And if you look, and he directs you to look out this sort of bay window in the tower, and you look, you see that these meteors have actually traced a zigzag in the sky. Several meteors have burned these lines in the sky, and it looks very much like a zigzag, just cutting across the sweep of the sky. And Kemet says, scholars have interpreted this to mean that the heroes who can defeat Kava will die, and that will cause Kava to smile, and then Kava's reign over the earth will be inevitable. But that was to be the end of the omens and the final step in the prophecy. But you fell, and I swept you from the sky, and Kava smiled, which means that maybe if you can prevent the other omens from taking place, you can prevent Kava from waking up at all. And he's like, yes! He's kind of like getting like hot under his feathers.
You guys are hearing this too, right? I didn't just hit my head that hard.
I think someone may have. In my experience, prophecies are generally a bunch of hooey designed to trick stupid people and possibly eat children. So
What's even hearing?
That makes sense if you read his backstory.
Now, I've tricked a lot of people in my time, but I've never eaten children. I mean, I wouldn't even know what it pairs with.
I've never eaten any sentient being, so it's a good question.
Insight check.
Yeah. So, you take stock of your surroundings. Kemet is sort of stooped and old, very excited. His eyes are very bright, but he wears a very dark navy robe, like wizard's robes, and it's a gold trim. and he has lots of lapis lazuli amulets hanging over his neck and on his bracelets and things. And he has a carved wooden staff. And when you go over to the window to take a look at supposedly what is Kava's smile, and you know nothing about Kava other than that this zigzag in the sky might be Kava's smile, you see that you are actually very, very high up. You're almost above the cloud line. And you're in a tower that is sort of drifting silently through the skies of South Umbria.
It's a flying tower? We're in a flying tower?
More like a floating tower. You're not really moving very fast.
Okay.
You'll
There
understand.
goes our escape options.
Kind of prefer to be ground level after what we just went through, Mr. Amazing Hawkman who plucked us from certain death. Is there a way off of this and we can happily talk about prophecies and important signs? I just really want to get on ground.
So he bids you all to sit down. There are some little stools. You notice that there's actually a big clay golem that has like one very big left arm and one very skinny right arm. And it's kind of using these two mismatched arms to kind of like sweep up. Like most clay golems, he doesn't have like a head. He's just like shoulders and then like some symbols like right in the chest. And he's sort of lumbering around, sweeping up because it gets very dusty. And then all around you, there are shelves, books, crystals, candles, just millions of labeled jars with reagents, basilisk blood, powdered mummy, that kind of thing. And there are a number of wands and staves and divining rods and things that are mounted on the walls. And then there are these diagrams as well. And Kemet starts just talking to you. He says, you know, the prophecy was originally taken from a series of stone tablets that had been stolen from a Norn far in the north. The Norn was expected to have lived, maybe have been alive for 1,000 years, and so the prophecy was taken from him. But the stone tablets were incredibly heavy, and it was not clear in which order they were supposed to go. And blah blah blah. He continues talking, and you sort of look around.
Grandpa's
you can tell.
office meds.
It's certainly a possibility.
My friend, you have spent a lifetime studying this prophecy. We have not. Can you sum up some bullet points
There's no time. Sum up.
in like a digestible fashion, possibly on the ground?
Okay. You know of the Tree of Wands, yes?
Yes.
The Tree
No.
of Wands stands in the courtyard in Aventale, in the keep. It is a tree whose branches would all be incredible wands because the tree itself is imbued with such immense magic. The prophecy says that if that tree should ever be cut down or die, that will be the last step before Kava is unleashed. So, if you are the heroes who fall, as the prophecy suggested, then you must be the ones to stop the Tree of Wands from being destroyed. If you can stop the Tree of Wands from being destroyed, perhaps you can prevent Kava from being unleashed upon the world. But there will be several obstacles. For one, Kava, and I don't know why, is worshipped by goblins. They refer to Kava as their Kava Mama. And they know enough of the prophecy to want to ensure that the Tree of Wands is destroyed. Even now, I can see with my telescopic lenses that they are gathering around Aventale. They intend to lay siege to Aventale and try to take the tree down.
That may explain the incident from the other day, would it not, John?
Yeah, goblins aren't normally that smart.
No,
I feel
not organized.
Is there a timeline on this, or are we going to have to protect the Tree of Wands for the rest of our lives?
I fear that there is someone who is trying to instigate or trying to ensure that this prophecy comes to pass now, quickly. There is clearly an intelligent person behind this. I just don't know who or why.
Okay.
You must be my
Interesting.
agents on the ground. I will stay here to continue my studies, to see if there is some way that we can reverse what has already been done. But you must be my agents upon the ground. Protect the tree. See what you can learn. See if you can find who is behind this. I know that the goblins are not working all on their own. They possess far too much organization and even magic.
That I'm extremely appreciative that you kept us from imminent death. But at the risk of sounding, I don't know, mercenary.
No. I was going to ask a
What's in
similar
it
question,
for
I'm
me?
sure. Like, yeah, I enjoy the world, but in the meantime, there are still bills that need to be paid. As a prophecy fulfiller on Earth, we're going to have to spend a lot of time doing stuff to protect a wand, and food and lodging are not free, though they should be.
So Kemet kind of rolls his enormous hawk eyes, and he's like, yes.
As essentially
Of
a very
course-
large
of
rodent,
course the prophecy
I'm a
would-
little afraid of him.
That's what you should do.
So he goes out and he sort of shuffles around in a trunk, and he pulls out a bunch of gold pieces. And you can tell that these aren't like Tiberian coin. Like this is very obviously like old Arcadian treasure. Like, no one has seen these coins before, right? And he's got like some monarch wearing the double crown that has like a snake coming out of it, right? So he sort of passes them out to you. So you get 50 gold each. And he says, there will be more, much more in reward if you can do as you are asked. And he also hands you something. It's just a stone. It just looks like a regular rock. And he says, I will cause this rock to glow when I need to speak with you again. If I do, then you will need to come back to the place where this tower floats. And then he
Okay,
kinda, like-
bird. Man, wizard.
And he kind of
That's great.
he kind of indicates with his staff. He sort of points, and he's like, there's a rope ladder. We've been working on an airship, but for now, you'll just have to take the ladder.
If it's
Better
any
than a
use,
beast,
And I'll point to the bit of whatever, the floating stone that we managed to
Yeah.
jettison from the crashing airship.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's worth anything, but here you go.
He says
Don't mention where you got it.
he kind of peers at it for a little bit and strokes his feathered chin, and then he says, I'll have one of my golems see what they can make out of this. And he says, you should hurry. I believe that the siege on Aventail will be starting very soon.
Before we head out, a quick question for you. How long has it been since you've noticed these signs? When has this started in your estimation?
It started when the witch was burned.
And we know that it was pretty recently, right? Like a year, 2 years?
Yeah, that was earlier this year.
Earlier this year. Okay. So I'm thinking to myself that this might have something to do with the guy I'm tracking. But he doesn't seem to know who he is yet, so I'll file that away for later. Okay.
I wonder if Wedget is, or not Wedget, Sky Smile guy is the one that Jackie's character is destined to beat the shit out of.
Maybe.
Could be.
Maybe.
A lot of prophecies going on.
Mhm.
I don't like it. Trust me.
Oh,
Someone's gonna get eaten.
Anti-prophecy.
too many prophecies around here.
Why'd you look at me when you said that?
Because you're the smallest and most delicious looking.
I am kind
Oh.
of delicious. Hey,
I resemble that remark. Yeah.
Well, at any
So-
rate, we've got a siege to stop.
Mhm.
So, I'm going to take a look out the window and try to see if I can spot this siege and try to get an idea of like the goblin numbers and like their makeup and what kind of like siege engines they have. Like just like a general like I am going to get a bunch of information to prepare the city for a siege kind of stuff.
Great, that's worthwhile. Why don't you roll a d6 just to give me a sense of how successful you're going to be
Sure.
at that?
I've got investigation if that helps at all.
I think it would. You're a fighter and you've got investigation, so
That is a 4.
okay, not bad. You say that the goblins are streaming down from various points in the hills, so they're not all like sort of massed in one location. They're not all going to come from one direction. They're probably going to come from all directions. And you also see that they're not sort of like forming ranks, like there are no sort of like squares of goblin infantry. They're doing what goblins tend to do, which is to just kind of like rabble. But they're not alone.
Nice, classic rabble.
Rubble.
You can see
Carrots
that
and peas, carrots and peas, carrots and peas.
you can see that there are other things that are traveling with them. Some of them are riding on dire rats, which is a common thing for goblins and hobgoblins. Everybody hates dire rats. And they have what appear to be walking catapults as well. These are a real problem. They're a gnome invention from some time ago that kind of got out of control, and then a lot of people started mimicking them. The walking catapult, so to speak, is a basic catapult, but it has 4 wheels on it, and the wheels are on pegs. Each wheel has 3 pegs, which gives it kind of like a lumbering up and down swing from side to side kind of gait. And the walking catapult is completely self-propelled. So it doesn't require much in the way of like fuel. It doesn't need horses or oxen to drive it. It just kind of lumbers forward, and it has a proper catapult arm that actually has an elbow joint. So it's almost like a sling. Can hurl either rocks or grape shot very effectively, and it can be driven by something as small as a goblin. And the real problem with them is that they're idiot-proof. Even a goblin, like a goblin sapper with very little intelligence or experience, can sit in the sort of cockpit, so to speak, of one of these walking catapults.
Oh, God. Imagine what I could do with one of those.
Yes. And just cause it to hurl stones and grape shot and other goblins. I mean, these things are a menace. And so you see a number of these sort of like lumbering wooden creaking catapults coming from various points in the hills. And so you could probably, because all the goblins tend to be sort of filing towards Aventail, you could probably sneak up behind one of these walking catapult units and destroy it on your way in, if you want. Or you can try and sneak past it and get straight into the city.
One less siege engine is better.
I think so as well.
Mr. Amazing Wizard Bird Man, just a quick question. Oh, sorry, what was that?
Kemet.
Gesundheit. You can reach us by your stone. Thank you for that. But if we have a question or a problem that we want to consult with, can we make... How do we get a hold of you?
You'll just have to come back.
It's a don't stone me, I'll stone you situation.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Right.
Person stuff.
Heard that before. All right then. I I guess we got a goblin horde to stop. This is not how I envisioned the day going.
No, not really.
It's Tuesday.
So Kemet has his golem, or one of the golems, bring out a plate of food. There's bread, there's honey, there's dates, there's fresh grapes, and there's some. It's almost like a bread made of, or like a loaf made of seeds. And so you eat this. You rest for a little bit, but he's constantly encouraging you to sort of get moving. And so, unless you have any other questions, you probably have some ladder to climb down.
I wonder if we could get the trolls from not water or our water or whatever it's called, like just come in and just eat a bunch of goblins. Or would that be more trouble than it's worth?
Trolls are not easily persuaded to do things, is I think your general understanding. The trolls themselves don't harbor very good feelings about the hamlet of Avondale, so it might not.
But
be
do they like
enemy.
goblins?
Yeah, it might not be an enemy of my enemy is my friend, or it might be. That's up to you. Depends how sort of persuasive you feel you might be able to be.
I feel like I was going to say we could send a message, but it would be like, here's a written message, and the troll will be like, Anyway. Okay.
So what do you want to do? You're going to climb?
Let's climb the
down?
ladder and attack a siege engine from behind.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna just see if there's anything in the tower. Like, how closely watched are we? Probably pretty close.
You're pretty close, but there's some wands and staves in here that are probably pretty powerful. Like
I'm gonna maybe
you can
see if there's a
feel
good
the sort of
moment with
crackle.
enough of a distraction from someone else that I can maybe pocket one of the wands. I'm not going to go for a staff. It's too obvious.
Well, it's just Kemet and the golem, right? Like, it can't be.
Yeah. Too many things.
Yeah.
Now,
obviously, if someone's trying to stop the world, he should stop the world from being destroyed. He should be okay with a little petty larceny.
One would think, or we could maybe just ask him if we could.
Is Elroy a magic user?
Elroy is an alchemist. So
but he just wants to steal the shiny.
He's very smart. I would understand some. Like, I can transmute things. I understand the essence of objects and chemicals very well. Spells kind of elude me.
So you see a nice wand that is sitting on its own shelf. Like, it has its own little wooden shelf. And that tiny little shelf is like nicely carved. And it is placed nicely on that tiny shelf that is in the wall. And so it's quite a bit above your eye level, because you're a tanuki, so you're pretty short. But by standing on your poofy tail, you'll be able to reach up and grab it.
All right. I'm going to take one of my torches out of my traveler kit and just kind of try to swap when there's an appropriate moment comes with a distraction. I'm going to kind of shoot a little look over towards what's your name again? Bo's character.
La Habre.
And I'm just going to be like,
I have no knowledge of what's going on here, but
and John will.
What is that down there?
And I'll point at a random clump of goblins doing God only knows.
So I'm going to need to see a D6 just to gauge your success in this venture.
Oh, right. I'm going to need to roll dice on this, aren't I? There's no online dice roller for Zoom, is there? I think that's a real shame.
Yeah, it's really missing out.
Zoom.
Not a key demographic.
We're nerds. Nerds sometimes have money. They should know these. Oh, God. That's a 1.
Negative 2.
That's the first roll of the night, and it came up.
Kemet kills you, and
So you reach up with your tail and you grab the wand, and you're like, huh. And faster than you would think possible, one of the clay golems just grabs your hand, and you instantly drop the wand. And Kemet, who is moving about these pages of the prophecy to try and see, what if I move this over here and I move that there to try and figure out the sequence of events that's likely to happen. He doesn't even look up. And he just says, I think you should probably get going.
Thank you for the dates.
And the golem actually shuffle walks you over towards the spot
Watch the fur.
where the rope ladder is, and drops you. Now, thankfully, there's a bit of wind, and so the rope ladder is kind of swaying a bit, and you manage to catch one of the rungs. And probably about 150 rungs down, you manage to put your feet very comfortably on the top of one of the high hills that encircle Avondale.
Right.
Oh, and you're
not much of a
and
sense
up there
of humor.
Up there next to you is one of those 3-horned goats that's just kind of chewing. Anyway, so you guys follow. And the minute you put your feet on the ground, you can hear the drums, the crazy drums of goblins. This isn't war drums you would hear from orcs or anything like that. Goblin drums are just craziness. They use hollow pieces of wood, and they use whatever animal skills they can find, pots and pans. And they just go to town. They just bang 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 bang. And so
bang bang.
So animal, yeah.
And you can hear this at a distance, all over the place. It's quite disturbing. And so you have the ability to head down the hill. And there are a number of goblin units, if you can call them that, in sort of advancing that you could probably get behind. Do you want to try and sack a big one or a small one?
If our main goal is artillery, I say we go for a small one first.
Yeah, I would say so.
And maybe target a big one if we could actually, instead of just destroy, maybe take it over.
Yeah, exactly. That's
they can run it. I'm sure that any one of us could run it.
Just
because we could handle.
It might be relevant soon. I did not yet up my guy to level 5 with this new system, which is a custom-built system by Brendan and, everybody here except me. So how does it work as I've leveled from 4 to 5? I know my hit points go up by a little.
Yeah, so you're going to get some more HP because your HP is the level times your constitution. So I can't remember 20. What your constitution is. Yeah.
Your constitution is 2. You will get 2 more hit points.
Got it. And then
you will also get 1 more attribute point that you can put in one of your things. And you can also multi-class if you want.
Yeah,
I'm going to keep it. This is going to be rare for me. I'm not going to multi-class. I always multi-class.
Always. You're totally going to. But so if you're not multi-classing, then the biggest change is that you're now going to roll expertise more frequently.
Right.
Because
it's a 4, 5, or 6. Yeah.
Half the
4,
time.
5, or 6. So so you should be you're going to be rummaging potions and bombs and things far more often.
So I'm looking forward to. And do I gain a new point in something ability, you say?
Your attribute. So you get another we call them ability, but you can add an extra point to your strength or dex or will or
No, it's an ability. It's not a.
Yeah, that's right.
At level
Oh,
5.
yeah.
At level 5. Sorry.
Okay, so I get like a skill
yeah,
type
so you
thing.
could get, like you could get like you know, two-handed weapons or whatever, or bows and arrows or things like that.
I've already got
Yeah.
thrown weapons for sling, and I got shields. I got field medicine, so I'm the Healy bot, apparently.
Yeah.
I'm happy for. I don't want to sidetrack the whole game or anything, but I will take a recommendation. Is there like a
there's
thievery?
there's a bunch of new skills that might be fun.
Mastery of a weapon is always
mastery's
good.
Pretty cool. Yeah, that's a good ability.
Basically, if you roll a fumble, you get to re-roll.
Ooh, that could be mastery of potion, like flinging, like thrown weapons.
It'd be mastery for thrown. But you know what? Your potion skill lets you just douse. I mean, when somebody's trying to catch a potion.
Yeah.
We don't make you sort of overcome their defense to get it to them.
Right.
So it'd really be more your ability to huck stones and things
All
like
right, maybe
that.
I'm gonna up my dex by. Sorry, do I also gain an ability point or no?
No, not
okay.
this level.
Okay.
Next level.
Next.
All right. Well, I'll think
6.
about what I'm gonna be slightly better at, and I'll get back to you.
I had thought it was one up on the ability point. So I need to slightly change my character.
So let me
John,
set the
every
scene
man
for you
is
guys while you're
even more everymanish.
Normalman.
Normalman. I'm sorry.
Norman.
It's all right. So let me set the scene for you while you are making those changes to your character sheets. As you descend from the mountain, it is sort of patches of rock and then grass and then rock and then grass, and it's very steep. It's one of those hills that's so steep that you could probably scoot down on your butt if you wanted to. It's steeper than a staircase, but you're slowly going down. There's trees on one side, but not on the side that you're on. And down at the bottom, there's a valley that has a lot of lush grass. It has some trees, and it has a trickle of a stream that leads into the Umber River. And down in the valley, you can see some goblins who are marching, dancing, pushing and shoving each other, and just generally going to make war against Aventail. And in this particular valley where they're advancing, they do have one of these walking catapults, and you can see it just creak and clunk and creak and clunk and creak and clunk, because it's holding together, but it's obviously the goblins have been sort of patching and repatching and trying to repair it, so it's pretty ramshackle, but sturdy, and it's creaking and clunking along the way. Every now and again, one of its pegs get kind of stuck in a sort of a muddy patch, and then the goblins have to kind of lift it back up and push it along. But they're cheering, and they have a drummer who's doing this sort of mad drumming. And along with him, there are a bunch of others. You see one goblin that has a lot of gourds and skulls and things strapped to him, a bunch of them on his back, a whole pumpkin that's been dried, and who knows what's actually in it. And he's got kind of an insane look in his eyes. And you've got a couple of other goblins as well, who are sharpening their shivs against each other as they walk. They very primitive blades. Some of them made out of metal, some of them just made out of chert and flint. And there's some others as well. There are some that have slings that are kind of whipping them around. And you see one hobgoblin who is on top of a dire rat. And the dire rat is a big black rat with a very pink nose and a very long pink tail. The tail is like as thick as your arm. And they are all sort of marching forward. If you're going to get the drop on them in this valley, I mean, there are some bushes, there are some like slightly larger rocks that are kind of like bearded with grass, like tall grasses. If you want to try to get the drop on these guys, I will need to see stealth rolls from you.
Okay.
And that's Dex, right?
The lower of your dex or int.
Oh, I'm the same.
Well, they're the same, so.
I'm making up for that one.
7.
Also 7.
Total of 10.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Ooh.
So you guys are going to be able to sneak up on them and get the drop on them however you wish, but you're going to need to decide what you're going to do. Do you want to try to, like, talk to them, trick them? Do you want to focus fire on one? Like, what do you want to try and do here?
I feel like goblins are not known for their diplomacy, so talking to them I don't think it's going to work.
No.
What
Did you put down?
do I know? How obvious was it when La Brea charmed the wyvern? Do I know that's something you can do?
That's a good question. Bo, I believe you upgraded and you took on another vampiric.
I took a mesmerize as well, yes. Which allows me to vex up to...
I've also seen La Habrea do some charm and shit, so...
I don't think I actually saw, so I probably don't know that.
No, my eyes
you were
just
up there,
flash.
the
That's
wyvern.
it's pretty
Yeah.
subtle.
So I can't help with that, but I'm sneaky AF.
How loose are those rocks looking?
Mm,
One
yeah.
second, I will be right back.
For a moment, I thought you were saying how loose were those morals.
My morals are very loose.
Cause an avalanche,
So-
perhaps?
Mercurial,
So,
even.
let me ask. So, Bo, you have both the charm and the mesmerize skill.
Yes.
Charm, I think, only hits one. Mesmerize can hit a number.
Let me double check that. I think Charm does hit a number, but it's a D4, whereas Mesmerize is D6.
Oh, okay. So
So
with charm, I mean, the idea of mesmerize is that it's a vex in the sense that, like,
mhm,
you just won't be able to do anything. So
right.
I assume that when a goblin is mesmerized, they're basically just like, like they just,
Exactly,
like,
yeah.
it's almost like the blue screen of death, right? Like there's
Yeah, like
they can't
the
do
neurons
anything.
aren't firing, they're not...
Yeah. But when it comes to charm, you're actually causing a foe to attack one of its allies.
mhm,
So if you can do that, I would think that with a charm roll, and this would be your action, and this would,
mhm.
like it would be obvious. And since they would have to see you for you to charm them,
Yeah.
I think it might be difficult for you to charm some, but not others. But if you open with a charm, you can have them do something if you wanted to be like, look over there, or something like that, instead of attack each other. You
Right.
can try that.
Yeah, my other thought was since it worked pretty well last time, is having charming the hobgoblin. Because he did quite a bit of damage the last time that happened.
Hmm.
So, sorry, how many were we dealing with here? This little small group?
Good question.
Sounds like a bunch.
Yeah.
Huh? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 goblins, 1 hobgoblin, a dire rat, and a walking catapult.
But goblins have a way of finding more goblins.
Yes.
Yeah.
Particularly hobgoblins. Sorry,
So
hobgoblins have a particular way of summoning up more goblins.
Gotcha.
So we should.
Want to take
Are
them
there any?
regardless.
Are there drummers there?
Uh-huh.
How many?
There's one drummer.
Okay, because the drummers statistics like
boost their stats
yeah.
and stuff. Okay. So you were asking about the rocks. How loose are they?
Not loose enough that you'd be able to sort of like hurl rocks down the cliff, down the hill.
What if a small explosion helped them along?
Yeah.
Because we have access to small explosions, right?
Possibly. Depends on what I roll.
You could try that. All right.
You can roll.
Is there a goblin driving the walking catapult thing?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
Because you are all stealthy, I'm going to say that you get your EP automatically this first round. So, but if Elroy wants to use that to cause an explosion, to cause some rocks to roll down the hill, or the Habrea wants to use his EP to sort of charm D4 goblins, then that's up to you. But those will be your first round moves.
Okay.
All right. I think
La Habrea should charm the goblin in the ramshackle machine to attack his buddies with the siege weapon.
Yeah, I was thinking somebody go after the siege weapon, turn it on, maybe something, and then I can cause fire.
That would be good.
I got this. You see this this glass container that is just bare, it's glowing. There's a slight sense of, when you see a road on a hot day, the heat just coming off of it. It's got that kind of vibe around the outside of it. I'll toss it to my other hand, grab a cloth, wrap it in my hand, and then put it back in my hand. The cork on it is just smoldering.
Okay.
How can I charge the group and do something to them while they're all doing their crazy shit, or am I going to be yep?
No, you could charge the group. I mean, you might want to. I don't know. You might want to attack one of these goblins.
Okay.
Who's going first? What's the turn order here?
I will go last.
I can go first.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Labre get way up and do their thing, and then I'm gonna hurl this firebomb at something.
Okay, so La Habre first, then Elroy, then John Normalman.
Just 1 second. Pull up.
And we're not in the thick of the throng. We're we're towards the back of the.
You're far enough away from Aventail that they haven't sort of formed a solid throng yet.
Okay.
But there are goblins coming from all directions. So, if there's intense fighting and drumming, other goblins could potentially be summoned.
So a bomb going off might get some attention.
Maybe.
Okay, so.
Oh well.
Alright, so I'm gonna try to change things.
That's future Elroy's problem.
So I'm gonna use my stunning good looks to charm some goblins.
So you're just gonna pop up and be like, handsome vampire.
Handsome elf.
Yeah.
So have you heard the good news of our Lord and Savior Blood?
What time of day is it?
You had a chance to rest and recuperate, so I'm gonna say it's morning. It's probably 11 a.m.
Okay, so I'm in my full covered mode, so you can really only see my eyes.
Yeah.
So when I charm them, essentially just this kind of purplish light kind of beams out, and that's it. That's all they can see. So I'm gonna move out in such a way that, how is the goblin driving the catapult situated? Like, is it facing forward? Is he facing forward? Is it?
He's facing forward.
Okay.
And he's sort of in the middle. It's sort of like they've got their walking catapult, and there's goblins kind of like all around it, and they're almost sort of like running around it as well, like a mini pole, you know.
Right.
And out in front, stationary, is the hobgoblin on his dire rat, and he's kind of like urging them on.
Herding cats.
Okay. So I'm going to position myself in such a way that that goblin, and at least the hobgoblin, and some strays would be looking at me, where I could get some visuals on them. So since I EP this round, I'm going to kind of very stealthily but very handsomely. Oh, nice! So I actually affected 4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So they need to roll. That's 10 versus will.
No goblin has that much willpower. No goblin has ever had that much willpower.
You are now David Bowie in Labyrinth. They are yours.
Yes.
Excellent. I'm the Goblin King. Missing a cod piece. So that'll be
Nice
the
balls.
I mean, come on.
Oh,
Who wouldn't fall for that? David
True.
Bowie shows up in a cod piece, and you're just like, well, I guess that's that now.
Yes, I'm a goblin now.
All right, so we're gonna do
Goblin that cod piece.
we're gonna do the dance, magic dance. Hobgoblin, catapult, goblin, and 2 of the ones that are running around up front. They're all charmed, so I would direct the hobgoblin to attack the nearest goblin to him. The other 2 goblins to attack the hobgoblin, and the one of the catapult. Do I have a sense of what the range of the catapult would be?
It's a ranged attack, basically.
What could it hit from where it is currently? Like, is there another siege engine that's within range?
No.
No. Okay.
Could it just thwack down on top of like somebody in front of it?
Yes.
Probably not. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll try and have him to. What's the word? Dry pull the catapult.
Okay, so let's. So first, the hobgoblin.
I'm
who
sorry.
Up until now,
I just have to draw attention. Did you just say dry pull the catapult?
Yeah, like a
Is
dry
that a
pulling a
thing?
bow. It probably shouldn't be a
That's
thing,
just-
but
yes, that was a.
I just did not want to let that go by without
Yeah,
drawing.
no, I was gonna interrupt you.
Just being curious about that. Anyway,
So
Look it up.
you wanted the hobgoblin to attack the nearest other goblin, right?
that's right.
Okay. So the hobgoblin,
Try fire.
just
Sorry.
for no reason,
no, it's dry pull. Dry pull. That is.
Had a few of those in my time.
Hey, I mean, you gotta help out. There's stuff for that.
So the hobgoblin, for no reason, just little glint of purple in his eye, double crits with 2 shivs. just kind of like, just canters up to the nearest goblin, who's just like, basically says, "Oh, hey, boss, what's up?" in Goblin, which is like, shoelace, butterball, shoelace, and then he just double crit stabs him. Just
I feel like that
19 damage.
hobgoblin was just waiting for an excuse.
kills that
Fucking
goblin.
Gary, it's time.
Gary, can you do me a favor
Kills
and
that
kill?
goblin.
I already have the person. I already have the goblin in mind. Anyone who works in
I'm
an
gonna
office
resolve the-
understands.
Okay, so sorry.
Double crit. Oh man.
Yeah, these guys. We actually didn't really fight the hobgoblin last time, did we? We kind of ran away before we got
No,
the
He
chance.
ran away too much.
Yeah, they're not.
Two
They're
other
weak.
goblins manage to kill each other. And the
Amazing.
walking catapult basically like goes clunk, 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 and with its dry pole stretched all the way back, goes swam and swings down.
I'm sorry.
There's nothing funny about dry polling.
Oh, what a way to go.
And completely misses the nearest goblin. But at this point, you are obviously, you've been found out. The goblins are like, rah, rah, rah.
All right, burn them all.
The very first thing that happens is the goblin with the like big dry pumpkin filled with who knows what on his back, like just with like a gleeful look in his eye, just starts beating these two rocks together until there's a spark.
Burn them real good.
And he just tosses that spark into like the dry grass in the pumpkin on his back and runs towards you. Just runs, his arms pinwheeling, like so happy, because he's supposed to be a goblin sapper.
Do we get to have our turn before he gets to us?
That's 9 to hit each of you.
Can the rest of
anybody?
us have our turn first, or is it?
Oh, that's right. Go ahead.
Our surprise
Sorry.
round. I was gonna just lob fire at as many goblins as I can, and maybe the bugbear too, because he's gonna get angry after this, right?
Oh, the hobgoblin?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
He's pretty
Probably.
chill. He seems like a good guy.
Yeah, I mean, he took Gary real
Murdered
good.
his own. Like,
All right.
no.
He's already one of our group.
You know what? I only get one. I rolled the d4 against this, so I only get one of them. So I'm gonna target. I'm gonna target the goblin on top of the dry pole, because that is not something I want in my life.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Is there the drummer? Change that. I think
yep.
he could
There's the
signal
drummer.
other
Yeah.
goblins to come by, so I'm gonna burn the drummer.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay.
And that it's 2d6 plus 6. So 2. I'm rolling excellent. A total of 3 on the dice, so a total of 9 damage.
Does he get some kind of a resist or something?
It's a dex 6.
Oh, he dodges.
Ah! All right.
Oh,
He's
dang.
like, ah.
Yeah,
Wait,
goblins
do I
have like super
roll
decks.
for that, or it's just...
Yeah.
Yeah, it just happens. They're dexy.
No,
Okay.
I mean, he just has really high dex. He's got
Nice.
he's got dex 6. So
Whoa.
goblins
Yeah,
are
just
extremely
Autobot.
dexterous.
Oh, I can't
yeah,
burn
basically.
these guys.
Yeah.
All right.
He's like, corkscrew, shoelace! And he just like jumps out of the way.
Don't use dark. You saw what happened to Gary.
Okay. All right. Sorry.
That's my turn.
Normally.
Yeah, I'm gonna pop out of the bushes next to La Habrea and just grab the hobgoblin by the face and just smash him into my helmet with all of my might. It is a strength resist. He's got to resist a...
Oh, this is your wrestling move.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, this is his strength 8.
Oh, dang.
Strength 4.
That is 17 damage.
Like, ah!
Whoa.
Ooh. Okay.
Wow.
He is bloodied, like just from that one hit.
And then as a minor, I'm going to take my shield out.
Good thinking.
Yes, good thinking. Okay. So now, everything that I said before about the sapper,
Yeah.
pumpkin, the sparks, the gleeful look in his eye, the running with pinwheeling arms, And let's roll it again. That is 8 to hit all 3 of you.
I have a defense of 8.
My defense is 9.
I tied. What happens with ties?
That goes to PC
tie goes
usually.
to PC.
Also tied.
Yeah.
He just kind of blows up when we're like,
What the hell?
You're basically showered with like goblin like blood and like little clods of dirt and like pumpkin seeds. They just kind of like shower you, and you're like, oh, what the heck?
Got
Heart
some
kind
in
of
my
races a little
mouth.
bit.
Oh, hang on. Oh, I totally misplayed that because the drummer wasn't killed. So, so I could have added +1 to hit, but that's my bad. No sapper.
Blade is blade.
He was
Taking a
dodging
lot of
my
damage.
fire. To be fair, he was busy.
All right.
That's true.
So, so to rectify that, the goblin, who's the drummer, is just like sees his friend blow himself up, and it's just like immediately starts playing very quickly. Like I was supposed to be playing. Okay, so, and the walking catapult, sort of like comes over, and that is a crit. I'm going to use random targeting to see which one of you is hit. It is Elroy. Elroy, you are going to take
dry pulled at the start of the game.
15 damage,
Ooh.
getting
Yikes.
dry pulled. By no,
I regret
I'm
nothing.
keep using it.
15?
Ooh,
It's like a
Um,
third of your hit
yeah.
points.
15 damage.
That's half. That's half of my hit points.
So it's actually just to give you the sense of this. There's a rock that's just been like tied with like ropes made out of like goblin hair and other stuff. This rock has been tied.
I
to
don't
the
know where
top
that's
of
been.
of the
Actually, I do.
catapult.
It's been in
pole.
Gary.
And by just firing it but not actually releasing, it basically, because remember it has that sort of trebuchet arm, it just sort of whips down and just whacks straight into the ground. So you've just been hit by that arm.
Ow.
Um,
I'm okay. I'm okay. Walk it off. I come scurrying out of the dent in the ground that I was just smushed
Everybody.
into. I'm fine.
The hobgoblin and his dire rat sort of ride up towards La Brea, and the hobgoblin tries to attack with his 2 shivs. That's a 10 to hit
that's a hit.
and a fumble, so he misses. So on the 10 to hit, that's 12 damage.
Okay.
So he's like with
So
one.
you don't
and
do
then
as
the
much
other
damage
one
as a
is like,
catapult?
whoops.
Jeez.
Very
Alright.
good shiv.
No kidding.
It is a very good shift.
The finest
and as
nested
a-
on bone.
And as a miner, he pulls out like this horrible like sort of wooden kazoo thing, and he puts it in his mouth, and he goes, and it's like the worst noise in the world, and you're like, oh jeez.
Wow.
But it's loud and annoying enough that you see birds like fly out of trees, like in other parts of the valley. And then the dire rat, rather than trying to bite you, shakes, just like shakes, and fleas, like visible numbers of fleas are just
Ugh.
like flung off of it. And so 1d6 PCs need to roll will 5.
Oh my god.
5 PCs need to roll will 5.
Will 5.
Will 5.
Will is not my strong suit. Oh! Will 5. I rolled a
All
4.
right.
Hot
so-
dog.
Although the fleas are like bouncing on you, like you somehow managed to like stay focused on the battle. Two more. Two more goblins. This one will target Normalman. That is a 10 to hit. I take it that's not a hit. Is it a hit?
I got a 9 at the moment.
Oh, okay. 1 damage. And then also a whiff, like just like the little like stone that it was gonna throw, just like goes way up in the other direction, way past its head. Okay. Top of the round, you still have a walking catapult, a hobgoblin, a dire rat, and 3 goblins, not including the one that's driving the catapult.
Okay, so let's see if I get EP this round. I did. I'm going to Vex this round. Targeting 3 of them. So Hobgoblin, Dire Rat, and Walking Catapult guy. So they need to make a Will of 9. Or beat a Will of 9.
No one can do that.
So this is more of a green flash.
Okay. They're all like, Okay, Elroy.
I'm going to see if I get my IP. I do, because I did not multi-class. So I'm going to... Well, fire didn't work. Here. Take this. I'll whip a stench bomb and see if I can get the hopefully the hobgoblin and a couple of the goblins.
Hobgoblin's vexed already.
Oh, okay. I'll just focus fire on however I can get 3, so I'll go for all 3 of those other gobbos.
Okay.
Especially the drummer boy, if I can.
Yeah.
And it's con 6 or be vexed.
They're right back.
They're probably pretty conny.
Goblins? More dexy.
One of them resists.
Okay.
The other two are like, rah.
Yeah, but
Even
the thing
goblins.
is, it's like the opposite. I'm like, wait, no. Goblins are used to stench. I pull it like a real nice perfume, and I whip them with that.
Yeah, it's like lavender.
Yeah.
It smells like Bed Bath and Beyond.
Eucalyptus for some reason. Okay.
Oh God, it's in my goblin mouth.
So, Devin has left us for a sec.
Here
I
he
am
is.
back.
Okay, Devin is back. Okay, so Devin, you're the last PC to go this round. All of the goblins and the dire rat and the hobgoblin walking catapult, everything is vexed with the exception of 1 goblin. So what do you want to do?
Hobgoblin.
Yeah, while it's vexed, I just I grab like the collar of its shirt and
That's
one
the
of its
hobgoblin?
leg, and with a strength roll of 10, basically I just pick it up and smash it into the walking catapult, and then smash him onto the ground, and then let go of the leg.
Nice.
And what do I have to do to resist that?
Strength 10.
Okay, you can't.
17 damage.
So describe it.
The goblin is like, what? And then I just grab him and then smash a bunch of teeth out against the walking catapult, and he's about to like almost recovering to do anything, and then it's right into a rock on the ground, which just cracks his skull open, and then I kind of toss him to the side, and then I look at the non-vexed goblin and go, next.
Goblins know no fear. But this one goblin is the only goblin who gets to go this round, and he whips a piece of metal, just like a tiny like clump of metal at you, and it's a 10 to hit.
That's a hit.
Oh,
2 damage.
Ooh.
20 more times. You won't stand for that.
PCs go.
All right.
That was an effective round, guys. Good job.
EP of 5. I'm going to try and keep these guys mesmerized. That seemed to be pretty handy. 3 of them will save of 7.
So who are you targeting?
Were-rat, drummer, and catapulter.
Dire rat.
Sorry, yeah, dire rat.
Okay. All 3 of them are because they can't beat that. So all
Beautiful.
of them are mesmerized.
Elroy.
Well, I know my fire's not going to do great. You know what? I'm going to just try to sling the goblin driving the catapult thing is still up there.
Mm-hmm.
And the song goblin is still going, huh?
Yeah, the drummer. Well, no, the drummer's been. I mean, he's still at it, but he's been vexed.
Okay. Okay, I'm going after the catapult goblin, and I'm gonna just try to hit him. I'll have my staff, and on the end is that kind of pitch, the Y fork, and it's got the sling part in there. So I put a stone in there and over my head, the whole thing, and then try to clobber him with it, with a stone. So, what do I do with that? Dex plus
D6 plus Dex.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's only gonna be a 6.
6 to hit is a hit.
Oh, okay. And that'll do a little bit of damage. 8. No, a D8. I have to find a D8. Okay.
Just roll an 8.
Yeah. Just keep it simple. Do an 8. It's a 4. I do what I want.
So you basically just beam this goblin in the head, just like. And he's like, so he like loses his rhythm for a sec, but then he like gets right back into it.
Oh, I'm actually going after the
rhythm.
catapult guy.
Rhythm.
Oh, you're one of the catapult guy. Oh crap.
Yeah. And then I'm going to start climbing up there, if I can.
Sure.
That's my turn.
That brings us to Normalman.
Come on, Norman.
I do not have my EP, so I will sling my shield back over, and the drummer is going to get a mace to the face with a crit. So that is for 12 damage max.
Nice.
So describe it.
He's just gets some of his rhythm back, and it's like, yeah! And in that moment of like pure joy of like knowing that he's drumming the best song he's ever drummed, a mace just crushes down, and he drops his sticks.
Oh, could have been somebody.
Could have been a contender.
For best drummer of the 3rd Goblin Brigade.
I think an added flair is you did it on rhythm.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a Muppet Show.
Okay, so top of the round, the goblin who's trying to pilot this walking catapult, not only is he being attacked, but he's also vexed. The dire rat is also just confused as to what's going on. So there are 2 goblin sling swifts who are trying to shoot. One of them tries to hit La Habrea with a 5 to hit. Sorry, 8 to hit.
Tygo's PC.
So
safe.
you are fine. And they are pretty useless, so it's the top of the PC round.
Alright, let's see what I got. Ooh, EP again. It's time to charm these guys. How many are left? 4?
Yep. Fire rat,
There.
goblins, walking catapult.
All 4 are charmed. Unless... Oops. 9 will.
Nope. All 4 are charmed. As in
Gotcha.
all 4 are attacking each other.
Yep.
Okay. The walking catapult. Actually, that's a crit fail. So it doesn't hit anything. The dire rat. That's 8 damage, but then they also need to quaff a potion to avoid, or an antidote rather, to avoid the poison damage, which is an additional 5 damage. That's significant. Okay, so that goblin is killed. That goblin, of course, no longer gets a roll. And then this Sling Swift does a small amount of damage to the walking catapult. Okay, that's it.
That's it. Come on, everyone.
Oh, yeah, I gotta roll.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah, I got EP again. I'm going to... you know what? Just gonna... It worked last time. I'll just spritz this guy with the lavender mix. Again, going for the catapult, dude. Let me see.
They're all... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm just gonna see if I can... Yeah. Well, I guess they're all charmed, aren't they?
No, the charm is kind of like...
They attack each other.
Basically an attack. They attack each other once, but they'll attack you again next round.
Stench bomb at the guy running the catapult, and I guess the catapult itself. And so it's a
the catapult itself.
Oh, it doesn't. It smells.
Yeah,
it's been in goblins. I'm gonna just make sure it gets hit, so it's a nice freeze up the place.
So the goblin running the catapult is fine. He just basically like his nose is really clogged, so he's fine.
Damn it! All right, well, I'm gonna keep climbing, so I'm gonna go up on the back of it, so he kind of has to look around behind, like to see me, and just keep him worried about where I am. Where am I? You don't even know. What you gonna do?
Okay. Now it's time for Normalman.
All right, so the shield gets slung back, and I basically run and jump and grab onto the dry pole and swing myself around and like drive my elbows and knees directly into the dire rat's face with a strength 9 to avoid.
Oh. Watch out for those fleas.
Oh, that dire rat was unable to avoid.
That's 17 damage.
Oh, still just barely holding on.
Ooh.
Still just barely holding on. And so it is the top of the round. Let us see what happens now. So the walking catapult is going to target La Habrea.
That's fair.
Oh, you know what? You're not going to get hit by this. Roll a Dex 6.
9.
Okay.
So
you basically sidestep that massive rock going and hitting the ground. The dire rat is going to attack. Normalman. Probably because Normalman has just done that. That is a 10 to hit.
That's it.
Ooh. Okay. And this is a bite attack. So it's going to do 6 damage. And you need to roll a con 5 or you're going to be poisoned. And I'll tell you what happens if you're poisoned.
Con 8.
Okay, you're fine. You're like, "Argh!" You can feel like the tetanus or whatever, like burning through your body, and you're like, "Argh!" and you just like
Not
shrug
today.
it right out. Just so you know,
Real men just shrug off tetanus.
it would have been a 1d10 plus 5 if you were not able to shrug.
Yikes.
And actually, I rolled a 10, so it would have been 15 damage.
15 damage. That's
That's
no joke.
significant. It's not
Let's
enough
see
to
that.
turn the tides of battle. And the remaining goblin, the Sling Swift, is going to whip a stone at Elroy for 6 damage. It was a crit.
Whoa.
Oh, all right.
Oh, you're pretty bad.
I'm all right.
Top of the round.
All right. Got AP again. So, being level up's great. So sorry, what's left? The dire rat, the
dire rat, goblin, and the thing piloting the walking catapult. And of course the catapult itself.
I'm going to use Life Drinker on the goblin that's on the ground.
Okay.
And that's going to be a 8 to hit.
That is a hit.
That is going to
And
be...
if you want to do this without your traveling companions noticing, you're going to have to also roll stealth.
Yes. So I'm going to try to make this look like I've kind of torn it apart.
Like a romantic kiss. You know, like dip the goblin.
Alright, so that's 8 damage.
Okay.
And sorry, stealth is dex or int plus the roll?
Yeah, the lower of dex or int
So
plus
6. 6 on stealth.
Okay, I'll let it slide for now. You're gonna have to come up with an excuse as to why you were like so close to this goblin.
I mean, he's basically David Bowie, half of them. Like, what happens between that,
Yeah, I can...
the king
Stay
of
out
the
of my tube,
labyrinth,
but
the Goblin King and his goblins? I mean,
Yeah.
And the
I'm
goblin's
ready
still
to
alive,
accept
right?
Pardon?
I'm also probably
The goblin's still
concussed.
alive.
Still alive, yeah.
Okay, cool. So back up 8 HP.
Yeah, not very alive, but it's alive.
Okay, and that's it for me.
Okay. John Normalman?
What about Elroy?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Elroy. Sorry.
I did not get EP, so I'm just gonna try to sling this guy. Like, I'm kind of riding the back thing, the catapult, whip it, and see. That's a... I should memorize this. That is going to be 7 to hit.
That is a hit. What are you attacking? Dire rat? Goblin?
Goblin who's driving the catapult.
Oh, okay.
And, oh, that's a better roll. 5 on damage.
Okay. It's a little worse for wear. In fact, they all are. So I wonder whether Normal One will be able to do enough damage.
Let's just see.
So I got my EP. And basically he just like slings the shield and like cracks his knuckles and just like smashes the dire wolf in the snout with a 8 plus 11 to hit.
Wait, I thought wrestling moves are.
I'm doing fisticuffs with my with my fighter bonus to hit and AC.
Okay, all right, that's a hit.
And that's 6 damage.
That's enough. Describe it.
The rat is just like trying to get back up, and I just kind of punch it in like the top of its head, and it hits the ground, and its teeth come up through its brain. And then with my second attack, can I reach the walking?
I don't think so.
Can I reach the
I can't imagine
other
the
goblin?
rat is in the catapult.
Yeah, that's true. Is there another goblin that I can punch?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I don't think that they would be that close together.
Then I'll punch the air.
Yeah. We'll just do like a Shoryuken.
Yeah.
Shoryuken! Hey, can I use your restroom? Sure you can. Okay, that takes us to the top of the round. Walking catapult, which is being piloted by like this goblin who is like mostly not doing so great. Is going to fire grape shot, basically in the air, and is going to only be able to target 2 PCs. So it's going to be Normalman and Habria. You must both roll a Dex 6.
7.
Does my fighter bonus give me anything for that? No, it doesn't.
I don't think so.
Yeah. So I would have to get a 7?
No, you have to get a 6.
I got a 4.
Okay, so basically, it just throws all these rocks up in the air, and they just come like boom, 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 boom. And so you get beamed in the noggin with 1, and you take 8 damage.
Oof.
And the remaining goblin, who is still up somehow, fumbles with his sling. He basically goes like, "Whoa!" But he forgot to load it. And he's like, "Mug doorknob."
Can we say that I reached it, took it?
Top of the round, La Habrea.
All right. Did not get EP. Dang. So I'm going to be attacking with my rapiers. So I guess there's just the goblin in front of me plus the catapult guy, yeah?
Yeah.
And could I reach the catapult guy if I managed to finish off the one in front of me?
No, they're far enough apart that you can target one.
Okay, so I'm just going to try and hit this thing twice with my rapier.
Okay.
9 to hit.
That's a hit.
9 damage.
Describe it.
They call me Vlad the Impaler. I reach through. This is where it all starts. Starts with goblins. So my
and for clarity, I'm trying to prevent everyone from knowing I'm a vampire.
I don't want to.
Well, no one here knows who Vlad the Impaler is. It's a different universe.
It's just a tremendous coincidence that all of these things are dying in ways that are typical of vampire bites and stabs and whatnot. But essentially, yeah, my rapier comes off of my.
This is statistically unlikely.
It is off my left hip, and it just kind of shoots forward through the goblin's body and then comes back out.
And do you have to do like a whistle thing to control it? Do you have to be like?
It's actually like it's more finger motions, like a kind of.
Okay. So you finger that goblin to death.
Bear pole and finger. Bear, dry pole and finger. That's too much. I can't even get through it.
It was finger banged to death. Yeah. There we go.
That takes us to normal.
And now this podcast is an NC-17 rating.
Yeah, I was going for family friendly, guys.
Yeah, no, this was never family friendly. Okay,
Yeah,
normal.
that's true.
Don't even mess with me. Right, Elroy, meet the Jetsons.
All right,
For some reason, I always think that it's Normalman after La Habrea, but I've got it written down. That's just because.
I mean, we can do it that way. I don't mind.
No, it doesn't matter. Come on.
You can move your windows around.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna see if I can sling this
end
guy.
Of the encounter, I've moved them.
I'm gonna see if I can bash him with my sling. I got a crit.
Nice.
Hey.
And what's that do to the damage? Just
Max
the
damage.
same. Max? Oh, that's
well,
8.
you max on 1 dice.
So it's a D10. You do 10 damage.
Okay, so describe it as if the two of you are fighting over like control of the cockpit of this walking catapult as the catapult is like walking.
Okay, it's a sling attack. but it didn't say I used my sling. So I scurry around him, kind of like a squirrel going around a pole. I know I'm a raccoon, but and so and we're almost the same size. And so we're kind of like trying to dance around each other. So I basically wiggle between him and his seat. I'm like up under where your feet go. And I use my tail behind me to press back. And I use my paws to like scoot him straight up into the air out of his seat. And then at that exact moment, I reach up and I grab the lever. And I just bear pull him. So it's kind of like a slingshot. But I slung the goblin.
I'll accept it. And so the goblin goes, ah, and then like Team Rocket just like turns into a sparkle in the sky for no reason. And in so doing, not only have you defeated this group of goblins, but you've also managed to commandeer a walking catapult. Not sure how long it will continue working. Not sure how many different places you can take it. But for now, you are in a walking catapult. So,
all right, guys, grab some of the goblin cloaks and stuff and climb up.
Okay,
Think we can disguise ourselves as goblins?
They'll never be able to tell the difference.
So the walking catapult is small in the sense that really only Elroy is going to be able to fit in it. And nobody else is going to be able to ride it. It's more like it's closer to being like a mech suit than it is to being like a like a vehicle. So you're in it. You can operate it, and basically what it allows you to do is you can either toss Grape Shot, which is a ranged attack against 1d6 foes, and they all have to roll Dex 6. Or they take 2d8 damage. Or you can toss heavy munition, which we've been describing as that rock, basically. And they have to roll Dex 6, or they take 1d8 plus 12 damage.
Wow.
Those are your moves.
And sorry, what's the damage on the Grape Shot?
2d8.
2d8, okay. And it's how many people can be hit by Grape Shot?
1d6.
1d6. Okay. Cool.
And so you guys now have to make a decision, though, as to what you want to do to... I mean, do you want to go to Aventail? Do you want to go to Watergo, which is the place where the trolls are? What's your plan?
Do we think we can convince the trolls of anything?
No.
No.
Like, I was just hoping the trolls might be like, oh, free goblin meal? Okay.
Yeah.
They might be doing that already.
Yeah.
This is true.
Maybe we should just, like, attack the next battalion over and and hopefully give the city some time to set up its defenses.
When we were looking outside of the tower, did we get a sense of how many there were approaching the town?
Hundreds.
Hundreds, okay.
We got lucky with
we just
these
took
guys.
out 10, so...
Huh?
Yeah.
Well, you guys took out 10. I struggled to fight what... Actually,
is this considered a short rest?
Yeah, you guys can have a short rest now if you want, or you can hurry on to get to Aventail.
I'm kind of bashed up. I've got a heal I can do on a short rest if anybody wants it.
And I gotta pee. I'll be right back.
Okay. I'm good. So you can heal for yourself.
I'm gonna field medicine myself. Restore HP on a short rest. It's because I can just kind of tell the mech to do the walking, and I'm just busy. Yeah. So I get a D6 plus int.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
field medicine, right?
Yeah, I took field medicine proficiency. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I can heal between combat.
Nice.
That's gonna be, what's my int? It's 4 plus 2, so I get 6 back. It's not nothing.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm going to be
I feel like we
carving
should
my
go for
name.
another battalion.
Sorry, go ahead.
I feel like we should go for another battalion now that we
Yeah.
can actually attack multiples. Just to give the Avondale people a bit more time / less things to fight.
Okay.
How far away would we estimate the nearest one is?
A
couple hundred yards?
Less than an hour.
Less than an hour. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like you're going to be able to get to them. Although that's because the walking catapult is so slow.
Right.
And you're going to have to kind of find a point where you'll intersect on the road to Avondale, because it's not like they're fixed. They're moving. They're all moving towards Avondale.
I mean, I guess we could ditch the catapult, move faster, and be stealthy. But I want to use my catapult. If it's going to really slow us down, though, I could just stash it somewhere and use it later.
I think it's 11:30, so I'm going to let you guys decide what you want to do in terms of your approach to Avondale, or staying out here and fighting goblins.
I'm going to need to go to bed soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I was actually getting at. So, so let's call it a night for now.
Okay.
Don't forget, you guys all got 50 gold. So when you get back to Avondale, you might be able to spend some of that. And if you want to spend another session fighting goblins, then you are welcome to. But if not, you can hurry on over to Avondale and see what awaits you there. But anyway,
presumably the next game will be next year.
I'm for next week.
I might actually be able to do next week, but we can figure that out going forward.
Yeah, it's the 28th.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
And of course, if anybody is listening, you can check out all our stuff on all the podcast places and Twitch and YouTube, and jump in and say hey and chat anytime you like. And thanks. It was always wonderful to play with everybody.
Yeah, nice to
see you again.
It was indeed.
Devin, Bo,
All right.
Brendan.
Yeah, likewise.
Take it easy.
All right. Well, we'll
Not to love
call
it,
it a night
folks.
there. Ciao.
Okay. Nice.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Go, Funga,